Assalamu alaikum everyone. This is Sidra Iqbal here, curator of Raabta, the public diplomacy initiative by the Serena Hotels. Thank you very much. It is overwhelming and very humbling to receive your response to our conversations. These conversations are meant to actually understand what the greatest thought leaders, business minds of the country are thinking, and how are they making the most of the present situation. Yes, it's a crisis. Yes, it's uncertain. We don't know how the situation will shape up, but it is very important to strategize and look at the benefits it's bringing us. There are some of us who are taking daring decisions, while others may feel that there may be a looming recession. There are companies that are trying to create more opportunities, are seeing the advantage in the present scenario. So let's dive deep into it. Today we have none other than somebody who's been leading the curve when it comes to the technology and the business combination. We're talking about Foodpanda, which has become a household name in Pakistan when it comes to food delivery and making it one of those companies that uses technology to our advantage, to their advantage. We have with us the CEO of Foodpanda Pakistan, Mr. Nauman Sikandar. Assalamu alaikum, Nauman.
Assalamu alaikum, Sidra. Thank
Such
you
a pleasure
for
to have you here.
Pleasure, and thank you for giving me this great opportunity to share my thoughts.
Nauman, you're a young person, and you're seen as somebody who's making very sound business decisions. So tell me, firstly, to begin with, Foodpanda was perhaps one of those companies that was worst hit by the lockdown. There was no delivery, restaurants were closed, you had a big fleet to look after. How did you immediately respond when everything went into a lockdown in April and in March?
So I think our first and foremost, at least for me, Sidra, the thing was that a lot of question marks on what is going to happen now. I think when initially this pandemic started in China, there was a lot of speculation in Pakistan market around the world. I was also thinking on the similar lines, flu hai yaar, why is people so worried about it? But then situation started sort of developing, it started spreading very quickly. A lot of people started getting infected. And unfortunately, we saw a lot of people lose their lives to this virus. During this period, it's important to understand that what actually the issue is and get to the ground realities of the thing. So this is something which we were able to decode at Foodpanda really quickly to understand what has gone wrong, what are the other countries doing, how is going to impact our economy, and what role should we as a company play in this period. So I think for any business or any individual, it is very important that instead of just relying on the information which you're hearing from 10 different directions, you do your homework and understanding of the situation extremely diligently, and then you can sort of, work out what you need to do. So that becomes very clear.
Absolutely. Nauman, मुझे ये बताएं कि हमारे यहाँ एक debate चल रही है. People have been talking about it कि the dichotomy of it. There are those who feel कि lockdown necessary है because जाहिर सी बात है जिंदगी बचानी है आपने और infection को बढ़ने से रोकना है. But then there are people जो daily wage earners हैं और वो उस underserved तबके से ताल्लुक रखते हैं कि उनको रोज निकलना है, रोज कमाना है. I want to understand, because you're obviously in touch with the pulse of the nation, with the people, your riders, your delivery boys. When this uncertainty was looming और बहुत सारे लोगों ने फिर अपनी fleets के size को cut down भी किया है. आप लोगों ने कैसे respond किया? Were there any people who were let go? And if not, so what were you thinking? What was the strategy?
So first of all, Sidra, I think we have to look at different countries around the world. There are countries who are very financially stable or have economic means to afford a complete lockdown, right? Those are the ones who can say, okay, a complete lockdown हम लोग कर लें, कोई problem नहीं, because हम लोग घर पे बैठे हुए लोगों को पैसे दे सकते हैं, regardless कितने लोग भी जॉब से फारिग हो रहे हो. दूसरी चीज ये कि कुछ लोगों की इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर और टेक्नोलॉजी कैपेबिलिटी इतनी हाई है कि वो लॉकडाउन कर सकते हैं. फॉर एग्जांपल इन चाइना, when this crisis happened, they locked down the whole एरिया ऑफ वुहान, और वहां पर उन्होंने लोगों को घर से बाहर निकलना बंद कर दिया। उन्होंने बोला जो भी आपने चीज मंगवानी है वो आप घर पे डिलीवरी करवाएंगे। उनके पास मोबाइल फोन्स थे, उन्होंने ग्रोसरीज, फूड, सारा कुछ डिलीवर करवाया। पाकिस्तान के केस में क्या है कि ना हमारे पास इकोनॉमिकल वायबिलिटी है एज अ कंट्री, हम लोग सस्टेन नहीं कर सकते। दूसरी चीज ये है कि हमारी यहाँ पर पूरी कॉम टेक्नोलॉजी पे शिफ्ट नहीं हुई थी। ज्यादातर लोग जो हैं ये टेक्नोलॉजी एप्स और ग्रोसरीज और फूड और इन चीजों के लिए यूज नहीं करते। तीसरी चीज ये है कि अनफॉर्चुनेटली अ लॉट ऑफ पीपल इन पाकिस्तान लिव बिलो द पॉवर्टी लाइन। देयर आर मेनी एरियाज जहां पर बहुत क्लोज कांटेक्ट में लोग रहते हैं। Culture wise and also situation wise, a lot of people have to come out of their houses to access goods like fruits, vegetables, grocery items, other items. Looking at all those factors, it is not possible in a country like Pakistan that you can do a complete lockdown like Wuhan and sort of kill this virus from the root. इसमें I think पाकिस्तान में अगर वो ज़्यादातर sustain करेंगे तो economically we will collapse as a country. हमारे जो फूड पैंडा के particularly सिंध के अंदर, if you know that the whole business, the whole restaurant industry was closed down for almost a month. We have a portion of our team which we call our heroes, who are our riders. So day one, we decided that not a single rider would be impacted. Although they work with us as freelancers, they're not our employees. We had almost 5,000 riders in Karachi. We announced overnight a package of more than 200,000 euros. And every week, we were sending out money to these riders even when they were not working. I think this great sort of appreciation goes to our regional team, our global team, who took who understood the problem at the root, because we're a company which make promises and we don't like to break our promises. So we made our promises to our heroes and we fulfilled that.
I think this is a promise of integrity. I mean, most importantly for any company, you need to be seen and you need to be operating from a place of compassion. So I think kudos to you guys for having that clarity of mind. No matter what, we'll be not letting our team members go.
Absolutely. And I think, Sidra, you touched upon a very important point, which we also call ehsaas, or we also call compassion. Once you have that on a broader mind frame, whether it's your team which works for your company, whether it's your riders, whether it's your restaurant partners or home chefs, once you have that in the back of your mind, then the decisions you're able to take as an individual, as a company, are much more, much more valuable. For example, abhi jo hai Foodpanda restaurant industry को represent नहीं करती, we're just a technology and logistics company, but we are very actively pursuing with the government in Sindh to open the operations for restaurants, right? Similarly, we're opening home chefs. Similarly, we're doing more for the riders. So whatever we can do in our individual capacity, we're trying to do that, and that comes primarily on the basis of that compassion which you spoke about.
I want to also highlight that this is not just compassion without caution. There is a fair element of caution being put into practice. I am, as a lot of people would know, I'm a frequent user of the Foodpanda app, and I was very keen to see, we're very happy to see that there's also contactless delivery. While they did not let their riders go, there is a facility that you don't need to get in contact with the person. If you'd like the package, the food to be delivered at your doorstep, or aap nahi chahte ki aap contact mein aaye rider ke, that facility is also provided. And agar aapka apna delivery boy nahi bhi hai, Nauman, if I understand it correctly, और restaurant की delivery जहाँ जहाँ complement करती है, आप वहाँ पे भी request कर सकते हैं. Another thing I noticed in the app, you've launched something called the Panda Pay. And you were just touching upon the fact that हम fully तरह, we haven't really gotten on the digital bandwagon. अभी भी बहुत सारे barriers to entry है. So is it like a digital wallet? What's the response? Did you launch it during the COVID-19 या इससे पहले ये launch हो चुका था?
So regarding the wallet, we launched it a couple of months back. It has nothing to do with launching it on an immediate basis. I think Pakistan एक ऐसी market है जो बहुत ज़्यादा digitized नहीं है. काफी transaction cash on delivery पे होते हैं, तो wallets are a very popular mean for non-financial people who are not on the financial sort of radar to bring them on board. They can store their money here and do different transactions. एक पाकिस्तान में was one of the few countries in delivery hero जहाँ पर हमने wallet launch किया था, और उसका reason ये था कि जब कोई बंदा ऑनलाइन पे करता था और उनका ऑर्डर कैंसिल होता था तो उनको 3 से 4 दिन लगते थे वो पैसा अपने अकाउंट में वापस आने के लिए। तो काफी पेन होती थी कस्टमर्स को। हम लोगों ने बैंक के साथ काफी वो रिजॉल्व करने की कोशिश की बट रिजॉल्व नहीं हो रहा था। बट सो व्हेन वी इंट्रोड्यूस द वॉलेट, अब अगर आपका ऑर्डर कैंसिल होता है तो विद इन सेकंड्स वो पैसा आपके वॉलेट में रिफ्लेक्ट होना शुरू हो जाता है, दैट यू कैन यूज अगेन। So, you know,
Absolutely.
that was the main idea behind the wallet. Now we're introducing new use cases in the wallet. आपने किसी दोस्त को पैसा ट्रांसफर करना है, आपने पैसा टॉप अप कराना है, राइडर आपके पास, देखिए छोटी सी यूज केस है, राइडर आपके पास आए खाना देने, आपने बोला यार मेरे पास तो 5,000 का नोट है, खाना 2,000 रुपए का है, तो राइडर बोला मेरे पास चेंज नहीं है, नो प्रॉब्लम, यू कैन टॉप दैट मनी अप इन फूड पैंडा वॉलेट टू बी यूज्ड लेटर ऑन। और so इस तरह किया था। Sidra, I want to answer one more thing. You spoke about contactless delivery for riders.
जी.
Achha, this is something which is happening on the front end. On the back end, I'll tell you what's happening. Every morning, before any rider starts their shift, उनके temperature check होते हैं in person, right? That is tracked. उसके बाद उनके compliance होते हैं, उनके bags को sanitize किया जाता है, मास्क दिए जाते हैं, उनको सैनिटाइजर दिया जाता है, उनको डिजिटली एजुकेट किया जाता है, और उसके बाद हमारे पास राइडर पुलिस है जो डिफरेंट जगहों पे जाके चेक करती है कि राइडर हमारा कंप्लायंट है या नहीं है, और अगर कोई राइडर कंप्लायंट नहीं हो तो उसकी जीरो टॉलरेंस पॉलिसी है। सो बेसिकली दिस इज इन एडिशन टू द कॉन्टैक्टलेस डिलीवरी, बिकॉज for us obviously these are the SOPs which we have to follow, which the government has presented, but at the same time it's promoting the whole belief of being an ethical company to make sure that we do not become a part of, you know, the spread of the virus and so forth. So we just
But tell me, I have a lead question to that, Nauman. आपने जिस तरह कहा कि if there is zero tolerance for a non-compliant rider, God forbid if a rider does fall sick, उसका temperature high है और he's showing symptoms, तब क्या करते हैं? Is there any hand holding? Do you give him any medical cover? Is he covered for during that duration? What's happening there?
Eurofund overall. So any rider जो होता है, we immediately sort of take care. अभी तक अल्लाह का शुक्र है we've had 0 cases, but in case if there's any issue, we are ready to support anybody in the team.
अच्छा, मुझे ये बताएं कि now apart from your business, people have been talking about कि is this going to be the new normal? यानी अगर तो हम पुराने वाले हालात पे नहीं जाते नुमान कि हमारे restaurants नहीं खुलते, these SOPs are in place for life. How do you see it affecting the food and beverage business, the HoReCa business, the hotels, restaurants, cafes? कैसे respond करेंगे आप? Because you work with them so closely. Are they ready for that transition?
I think this is not the new norm. I'm fed up with working from home. I'm sure a lot of other people are. Right. I think the people we are will all very soon be, so interacting socially. So that would happen. Right. In terms of, there's certain challenges in the interim period. So what we've particularly noticed is the restaurants which are high-end restaurants, which used to depend a lot of income, where people used to dine in. And they were very expensive. They don't do a lot of orders on delivery. And then all the low-end restaurants jahan par masses jaate the khana khane ke liye, those are the 2 category of restaurants which are most impacted by this. Because unka major income dine-in ke upar tha. Baki jo middle tier mein restaurants hai like pizzerias, burger shop, alhamdulillah they're doing decent revenue during this lockdown. Now I think like we have pivoted as well greatly, or to best of our ability. I would advise ke instead of few business owners I speak to, they're like nahi yaar lockdown khatam hoga hum khul jayenge, is tarah nahi hona chahiye. This is a pandemic, is going to stay in this country. अगर लॉकडाउन गवर्नमेंट हटा भी देती है तो कंज्यूमर साइड पे एक पोटेंशियल फेयर होगा कि यार मैं इंटरेक्ट करूं या नहीं करूं. So I think the business owners need to pivot their business or think यार हम लोग best क्या कर सकते हैं. One recent example I just saw today, there's a brand by the name of OPTP, right? So they already do great in delivery sales, but they've launched a pizza, right? So even for high-end restaurants, they can introduce a product line which is very suitable for this interim period, right? Which can help them sustain through this period and so forth.
I also want to use this opportunity and talk about कि जिस तरह you have become the go-to marketplace for all the restaurants, कि उनको लगता है कि आपका customer में become the perfect bridge. If I want to eat something, I would rather go to Foodpanda and see what all is out there. Likewise, आपने जैसे कहा कि interim period में अब अपने आप को तैयार करें. What about shops and markets जिनके पास traditionally delivery facilities नहीं थी? I also noticed, are you also reaching out to them and now making a directory कि आपके मेरे घर के करीब अगर सिर्फ बड़े stores नहीं, जो भी grocery stores, supermarkets, smaller markets हैं, will Foodpanda be looking at कि I can place an order and it will be delivered at my doorstep?
So we today have the technology, it's called Panda Go, where if I am a shop owner, I can take the technology. If anybody wants to give an order, मतलब मुझे customer order place करता है, मैं उस Panda Go के अंदर एड्रेस और डिटेल्स पुट इन करूंगा और वो राइडर वहां पर पिक करेगा ऑर्डर और डिलीवर कर देगा. तो टेक्नोलॉजी है. इशू ये है कि अभी हमारे अंदर ऑर्गेनाइजेशनल कैपेसिटी नहीं है. सो सिंस दिस कोविड पीरियड वी हैव हैड a phenomenal surge of restaurants who now want to get on board with us, because since only takeaway and delivery is allowed, so they are relying on any company which can provide them with additional orders. Restaurants बहुत ज़्यादा आ रहे हैं. उसके बाद हम लोग Panda Go जो है पहले restaurants पे expand कर रहे हैं. So and then we're working on marts as well, home chefs. So there's so much on the plate already that we're trying to sort of wrap this up, because the other market which you just spoke about, the thousands and thousands and thousands of businesses who want to do something with us, but unfortunately at this point in time we don't have the capacity, but we're trying to get there.
बिल्कुल. नुमान, मुझे ये भी बताइएगा कि when we talk about अभी जो मेरे पास ताज़ा तरीन इतलात आई है कि कराची में again a lot of markets are getting sealed because हमने SOPs and lockdown को follow नहीं किया था. यानी जो अच्छा काम इतने महीने हफ्ते हम बंद रहे, suddenly in the last 2 days people had thrown all caution to air and they've just come out bursting out, which is not good. तो मेरा अपना ये insight है कि आप जहाँ इस तरह का rush देख रहे हैं, जहाँ SOPs follow नहीं हो रही, ये आमतौर पे आपकी होलसेल मार्केट्स हैं. सो दैट गॉट मी थिंकिंग कि व्हाट अबाउट द होटल्स एंड द कैफेज, बिकॉज इनको भी तो पहले इंग्रेडिएंट्स तो अपने चाहिए अपनी रेसिपीज बनाने के लिए. वो सप्लाई चेन इनकी किस तरह अफेक्ट हुई है एंड हाउ डू यू सी देम रिजॉल्विंग देयर इश्यूज? क्योंकि अगर चिकन नहीं है, इंग्रेडिएंट्स नहीं है, स्पाइसेस नहीं है जो आपको होलसेल मार्केट से मिलती हैं, तो इवेंचुअली यू वोंट बी एबल टू प्रिपेयर द फूड दैट कैन बी डिलीवर्ड. उस बारे में क्या हो रहा है?
It's a very, very good, and I think it's a research in-depth question. देखिए, चीज ये है कि मैं आपको बताता हूँ डिफरेंस क्या है. आप एज ए कंज्यूमर जब फूड पैंडा पे ऑर्डर प्लेस करती है ना, आप बोलती है मुझे इस ब्रांड से एक बर्गर लाना है, राइट? वो ऑर्डर डिजिटली ट्रांसमिट होता है रेस्टोरेंट के पास. रेस्टोरेंट उसको 10-15 मिनट तक प्रिपेयर करता है, राइट? और वो फिर राइडर को बैग दे देता है, राइडर आपको आके डिलीवर करता है. Not just imagine कि इस चीज को हम निकालते हैं, आप फिजिकली जा रही हैं इन पर्सन टू दैट रेस्टोरेंट. वहां आप रेस्टोरेंट के अंदर खड़े होकर 10-15 मिनट ऑर्डर बताएंगी, राइट? क्योंकि हमारे केस में तो 15 मिनट पहले डिजिटली ऑर्डर ट्रांसफर हो जाता है, बट when somebody goes there in person, then you have to communicate one-on-one and purchase. Similarly, if 100 people are ordering, those 100 people will be standing next to you communicating their order. This is what happens in the wholesale market as well. जो रेस्टोरेंट का ज्यादातर बिजनेस है ना, तो सीधा सोर्स पे प्रोड्यूस करने का प्रॉब्लम नहीं है. सब लोग एग्स, चिकन, ये सारी चीजें प्रोड्यूस हो रही हैं. अब उनका परचेज करने का रेस्टोरेंट्स क्या करते हैं? रेस्टोरेंट्स डिजिटली ऑर्डर ट्रांसमिट करते हैं टू देयर सप्लायर्स कि भाई हमें ये कोक चाहिए, पेप्सी चाहिए, हमें नेस्ले चाहिए, हमें चिकन चाहिए, हमें एग्स चाहिए, एंड देन अ कार कम्स टू दैट रेस्टोरेंट टू ड्रॉप ऑफ द गुड्स. Restaurants don't have to go to these wholesale markets to purchase all these things, right? So वहां का भी जो चैनल है, अभी तक किसी रेस्टोरेंट से हमें ये इशू नहीं आया कि वो सप्लाई नहीं कर पा रहे, और जो सप्लाई का चैनल चल भी रहा है वो भी काफी मतलब ऐसा नहीं है कि जहाँ रश जमा हो रहा हो या क्राउड जमा होने की जरूरत हो, क्योंकि ऑर्डर्स एडवांस में पहले ट्रांसमिट कर दिए जाते हैं.
हाँ बिल्कुल, यानी अभी तक तो दे आर गुड टू गो, लेकिन जो होलसेलर के पास प्रोबेबली रश पहुंच रहा है वो डिस्ट्रीब्यूटर वैन्स का है, जो मिडिल मैन है इस सारे सिनेरियो के बीच में. बट होपफुली दैट विल बी सॉर्टेड आउट एज वेल. अच्छा, मुझे बात करनी है आपके नए इनिशिएटिव के बारे में. एंड आई नो आई हैव बीन स्पीकिंग एट लेंथ अबाउट इट ऑन अ लॉट ऑफ माय फोरम्स बिकॉज आई फाइंड द आइडिया सो इंस्पायरिंग. इस वक्त जब कई लोग कह रहे हैं कि बिजनेसेस बंद हो रहे हैं, देयर इज अ लूमिंग डेंजर कि आपकी जॉब चली जाएगी, स्पेशली अगर आपके स्मॉल कैफे या कोई, जैसे अभी नुमान बात कर रहे थे. Foodpanda is promising up to 1 lakh jobs, 100,000 jobs for home chefs through their initiative, 1 lakh home chefs initiative. I've spoken at length about it. अगर आप चाहें तो आप दिन में कम से कम 50,000 तक रुपए कमा सकते हैं, आपकी रेवेन्यू हो सकती है, जिसको you multiply by 30, it's going to be almost 15 लाख 12 लाख आप कमा सकते हैं. ये आइडिया कैसे आया नुमान? और सबसे बढ़कर ये कि मुझे जो नंबर्स पता है अभी 1000 से 1 लाख की जंप, बड़ा एम्बिशियस गोल रखा है. ये गोल सेटिंग किसने की?
Yeah, I think Sidra, as you know, that I've been involved in setting up different companies in Pakistan.
जी.
And whenever you're setting up a company, you never know what the end would be.
Yes.
I would advise that once you're setting up a company, I think you should be a little foolish in setting goals, because you never know where you might land, right? So this is the same, you have to be foolish and you have to be passionate. I think we've got an amazing team at, the team who's building the home chef vertical in Foodpanda today. 1,000 home chefs was something which was 2 weeks back. Today we have 2,000 home chefs. So in just last,
it's doubled within 2 weeks. Wow.
It's doubled within 2 weeks. So that is the frequency at which is developing. Unlike other countries internationally, restaurants बहुत ज़्यादा हैं. So restaurant, जैसे आप थाईलैंड में सिर्फ बैंकॉक एक सिटी के अंदर 70-80 हज़ार रेस्टोरेंट्स हैं, सिर्फ एक सिटी में. If you compare that to Pakistan, और बैंकॉक की पॉपुलेशन भी मेरे 7-8-10 मिलियन, इस तरह के 12 मिलियन है. पाकिस्तान की 200 मिलियन की पॉपुलेशन है, और हम लोग के हमारे एस्टिमेट्स के हिसाब से 20-25 हज़ार से ज्यादा रेस्टोरेंट पूरे पाकिस्तान में नहीं है. अब now it is one of our passion to build one of the largest companies in Pakistan. Also जो हमारी parent company Delivery Hero, हम लोग चाहते हैं वहां पर भी पाकिस्तान की recognition हो. Our business should do well, but उसके लिए हमारे पास restaurants नहीं थे या supply नहीं थी. So instead of us waiting another 10-15 years के पाकिस्तान में वो eating out culture बढ़ेगा, we said let's build that whole restaurant inventory ourselves. This is something which we started in November and December, but and we were growing it smoothly. But now I think, considering a lot of people in the textile industry, airline industry, transportation industry, these are सारी industries unfortunately which are impacted. We would love them to become part of this network, and obviously hundreds and thousands and millions of home wives who do not get the opportunity to work. They can follow their passion. Even men, they can follow their passion making food at home, and sell it to the people. So, and I think this is the best moment to do that. So that's why we're really pursuing it, really developing.
I feel so honored, Nauman, because in the last 3 weeks I've been interacting personally with your home chefs, and the motivation, the spark that they have. They're all people who had a dream perhaps to start their own restaurant. लेकिन जैसा कि आप कोई भी कैफे किसी भी size का करें, there's a lot of investment, there's a lot of initial blocking of your capital that is needed. And that kind of takes you away, अगर आपकी तैयारी ना हो as a business manager, from your passion, which is cooking. So I think one of the things that everybody highlighted was कि यार हम cooking पे focus करते हैं, हम अपने taste पे, recipe पे focus करते हैं, and the whole function of finding the person, because एक आप ऐसी जगह पे चले जाते हैं जहाँ पे ग्राहक आपके पास खुद आ जाता है, customer आपके पास खुद आ जाता है, and then the marketing, the delivery angle is taken care of by Foodpanda. And I love the diversity. यानी आप आमतौर पे आपके जहन में एक रेस्टोरेंट ओनर के ख्याल में आता है कि somebody who's astute, very sharp business wise. But these are people like you and me who have one common thing. There's diversity, there is passion for food, and they're starting it out. But मुझे ये बताइए Nauman कि the estimates, इसके अंदर due diligence क्या होती है? Because as customers, people want to know कि भाई how hygienic are these, the conditions where the home chef is working. इसके लिए किस तरह SOPs बनाई हैं?
So what we did is we worked with different food authorities across Pakistan, और हमें उनकी checklist मिल गई थी कि वो किसी भी रेस्टोरेंट को किस तरह ग्रेड करते हैं. तो हम लोग हर होम को उस चेकलिस्ट के ऊपर तो ग्रेड करते हैं कि वो 15 पॉइंटर फुलफिल हो नहीं रहे. We also, since we're trying to ramp up quite quickly, हम लोग उनके किचन की वीडियोस भी मंगवाते हैं to make sure that everything is of standard. इसके अलावा हमारे पास 10-15 डिफरेंट KPIs हैं. आप अगर Foodpanda की ऐप के ऊपर खाना मंगवाएं तो उसमें आप पैकेजिंग भी रेट कर सकती हैं, फूड भी रेट कर सकती हैं, राइडर सर्विस भी रेट कर सकती हैं. उन KPIs को हम लोग देखते हैं कि आउटलायर्स कौन से हैं, कौन से ऐसे होम शेफ्स हैं जो अच्छी सर्विस नहीं दे रहे. So these are multiple checks which we are sort of ensuring to make sure that we don't have any bad food providers or poor quality providers on our platform.
Right.
But the biggest asset which we have received, or the biggest surprise we got, is देखिए जब रेस्टोरेंट होता है ना, वो ओनर नहीं चलाता, वो स्टाफ चलाता है,
Right.
होम शेफ ओनर चला रहा है.
हाँ.
So, अगर आप होम शेफ से खाना मंगवाए ना, 2 हफ्ते में पैकेजिंग चेंज हो रही है, आप एक फीडबैक दें, वो अपना टेस्ट चेंज कर रहे हैं. दे आर वेरी passionate and particular about the food they're serving because it's their name on the line, because एक personal reputation है. तो alhamdulillah, this is, I think we've struck, I think we're getting a very good response because the quality and everything which these home chefs are producing, it's very, very good.
Very good. मुझे ये भी बताइए नौमान कि now COVID-19, just as you were saying, कि we need to leapfrog. जो लोग पहले समझते थे कि okay, technology is just a peripheral, it's add-on, it's a feel-good factor when the going is great. Now, it is probably going to become a bigger chunk of your reality, of your business reality. Apart from your industry, how agile do you feel? Agility आपको नजर आ रही है लोगों की to actually use this time, or do you see a lot more people who are very confused और उनको नहीं समझ आ रहा कि इस वक्त क्या करना है? As a business strategist, how keyed in is a Pakistani professional and business leader?
I don't have strong hopes. So I think Sidra, as a country, I think we're, although I would want one day, and inshallah that would happen, that Pakistan becomes one of the greatest countries in the world. But I think looking at the ground reality, looking at the education system, how our country has evolved, the civil wars and everything, especially going to our education system where people are groomed to become followers rather than leaders, and instilling change in the company or the ecosystem, having bureaucracy which has not really evolved over the period. I don't see a very progressive mindset of people generally in the country. I think this COVID situation will definitely push the people to adapt technology, because there is no other way left. They have to. So I think in a blessing or silver lining to this COVID situation is that people will be forced to adapt technology, and that is great. I think through that you can build a lot of efficiency and optimize performance. But generally, I think in general, I would love people to take further charge in general of making businesses more efficient, progressing, and so forth.
So मुझे क्या कहोगे नुमान, अगर मैं आपसे ये पूछूं कि प्रोफेशनल्स को इस वक्त एडवाइस क्या होगी? See, people are right now, many people are eating off their savings. यानी अगर उनका काम अफेक्ट हुआ है, जो कुछ जमा पूंजी थी उसमें से अब इस्तेमाल किया जा रहा है. Is this the time to experiment? Is this the time to take risk? या आप लोगों को कहेंगे कि gauge the environment, अभी कोई एक्सपेरिमेंट, कोई एडवेंचर करने की जरूरत नहीं है, पैसों को संभाल के रखें? आपका इंडिविजुअल्स को क्या मशवरा होगा?
So I'll try to give a little detailed answer on this. We spoke about, not, I know there's a timer going on my side as well. I'll try to keep it as quick as possible. But देखिए, सबसे पहले चीज ये है कि जॉब्स जा रही हैं, लोग मसले में हैं, इंडस्ट्री बंद हो रही है. ग्रेट. कौन सी जॉब्स जा रही हैं, कौन सी इंडस्ट्री बंद हो रही है, क्या खराब हो रहा है, उस चीज को अंडरस्टैंड करना जरूरी है. एफएमसीजी सेक्टर बहुत अच्छा कर रहे हैं माशाल्लाह से, ग्रोसरी रिटेलर्स बहुत अच्छा कर रहे हैं, उसके बाद जो है फार्मेसीज, मेडिकल कंपनीज, ये बहुत अच्छा कर रही हैं. There are certain industries which are doing very well. Agriculture sector is doing great. Consumption has gone up, right? And then there are certain factors, there are certain industries which are not doing great, like cinemas, like maybe retail, like transportation and so forth. So if you are somebody who's potentially been affected by COVID and you are a professional in a particular field, you're good in sales or marketing and so forth, if you're looking for a job, you can potentially look for a job in industries which are doing really well. They need a lot of people to grow the business. Foodpanda today is hiring maybe hundreds and hundreds of professionals in the company today, right? So like us, there are many other companies in the country who are looking for great talent. yes, don't go to an airline say कि भाई मुझे airline में job दे दें या आप कहीं और कर रहे हैं. So you go to a company which is hiring and expanding. Second thing is this is my general feedback for everybody in the country, professionals, entrepreneurs, is do what you feel passionate about and what you love. And the answer of what you're good at, what you would like to pursue is something which is inside of you. You need to answer that question yourself. Don't get sort of attracted by what's happening around you or uski basis pe aap decision lo.
Yes.
If you want to, if you love agriculture, go and start your business in this environment. I think it would make a lot of sense. But do your
Even the
research.
new avenues, Nauman, just to add on to what you've said, मैं आपको personally अपना example दूँ. There were so many times I used to think अच्छा हाँ एक digital पे काम करना चाहिए, digital content create करना चाहिए. I think COVID-19 has just pushed us into it. हम पहले राब्ता का event, physical event करके we used to have a few people there. Of course, very important people in the room, and then of course उसका हम social media करते थे, but we were not proactive. And this has presented us with a golden opportunity. और अभी तक हमारी जितनी conversations हैं, people have given us a fantastic response. You were able to make time for us today as well, so I'm very grateful. In the end, because last 2-3 minutes है हमारे पास, any last words of advice you want to leave people with?
I think as country, as Pakistanis, I think we have to step up our game as a country. I think the education system we have in the country, which essentially produces followers, that needs to be scrapped. Everybody who's on the deciding seat, we all know it's a rubbish. The curriculum and everything for the metric system is very weak. I've studied through that curriculum. If it's not good, if it's not building leaders in the country, we should scrap it. I think we all should work hard to build a progressive country. And just become better. I think as Pakistanis, I'm sorry to say, which includes myself, I think we are a little too full of ourselves without really not achieved anything. And I think that mindset needs to change. And we need to see ourselves in the mirror, because the world has changed. People in globally are doing things at a different level altogether. We're left behind, and unless and until we feel like a king in our small kingdom, I think we really aren't getting anywhere.
So we really need to pull up our socks. Thank you for that, that healthy dose of reality, Nauman, because, while there are opportunities and, your organization and you personally are making the most of it, it is also important to see how the world is responding. मैं सारे लोगों से कही थी कि even during the lockdown, look at how Canada and America are doing. वो अपने footpaths यानी pathways को चौड़ा कर रहे हैं, because now when you need to maintain distance, तो आप उस पे कैसे चलेंगे? That attention to minute detail is there. While here we are fighting and cribbing and bickering away. So you're absolutely right. There has to be inward reflection. It has to be more diverse and more inclusive. Once again, thank you so much, Nauman, for being here with us. And thank you guys for keying in and for watching this conversation. सबसे बढ़कर ये कि आपका जो response आता है, do let us know what are the other areas, what are the other subjects that you'd like us to have a conversation around and give you some perspective on. Till then, इस हफ्ते के लिए this is it. Take good care of yourself. I shall see you in the next conversation. Allah Hafiz.